Buddhism. Teachings of the Buddha. Self-healing. Just picture this. Isolated in your room, you feel the walls closing in on you as you gaze up at the ceiling, a blank canvas reflecting the emptiness within. Here, in this tranquil place, time seems to stand still, in contrast to the outside world, which is both unrelenting and lively and old. Heavy wound wraps about like a leaden cloak. Expectations broken into pieces. Disappointments lingering like ghosts, and the sound of alone reverberating in the stillness. Nothing satisfies the emptiness, no matter how much you scroll, distract, or seek out. No matter how many people surround you, the pain will always be there. Why? Because the loss is about more than simply what you've lost. It's also about what you've held on to. Many people can relate to this. Everyone here has been holding their breath, hoping that someone would suddenly come rushing in to fix everything and reassure us that everything is going to be okay. On the other hand, what if that individual cancels? What if the one who can restore your health has been lying in wait for you, right under your nose, the whole time? A lesson learned by a youngster. Being stuck is the result of waiting for other people to fix you. A toddler learning to walk is a good analogy. With her eyes wide and her knee scraped, she glances up, her vulnerability plainly visible. She hesitates, picks herself up, and tries again if no one comes running to help. But the moment someone steps in to show care, she collapses into sobs, desperately hoping that someone else might alleviate her anguish. As adults, we are susceptible to this trap. We've learned to put our trust in other people to fix us, validate us, and bring us comfort and safety. Now I'll tell you the truth. You are the only one who can cure you. Time itself is not a companion, friend, or associate. Simply put, time does not cure, but it does provide an opportunity for practice. Reflection of the Buddha. Choose to suffer. Here at Words of Buddha, we take the threads of pain and turn them into wisdom. This is for those who have ever felt bewildered by the maze of pain, or who have ever pondered the inexplicable persistence of some wounds and refusing to scab over. Stick around. What you're about to learn today has the potential to challenge your entire understanding of healing. Being alone won't help you heal. Being a reclusive hermit or withdrawing from society are not the goals here. Taking control of your life is the key. According to Buddhist teachings, pain isn't caused by things outside of oneself. A bond gives birth to it. As if they were lifelines, we cling to our expectations, our relationships, and the approval of others. However, we are left breathless and sure that we are broken when they disappear. What is real? You are whole, a human being. That is all, however. Healing can begin the second you decide to stop relying on others to bring you calm. The current uprising, how being present can heal you. Our thoughts are like time travelers. They flit from worrying to remorse, from yesterday's hurts to tomorrow's catastrophes. Yet neither the past nor the future can hold the key to healing. Here and now is where it resides. Why not give this a shot? Breathe deeply. As you inhale deeply, let your body press down on the floor. Release any and all concerns, anxieties, and what-if scenarios. Relax and be. Right here we begin. Rather of wasting time trying to figure it out or hoping someone else would understand, just be here with yourself. You put out the flames of misery when you're present. In doing so, you liberate yourself from the shackles of fear and the past. you start to see that mending isn't about addressing the problem. The key is to accept reality as it is. How to let go paradoxically. Why does it hurt more to hold on? Aching, wounded, and burdened by unsaid loss, you bear it all. Even when you wish it would go away, it remains. Why? Because the circumstances surrounding your pain are irrelevant. It all comes down to what you're holding on to. Suffering isn't in what happens to you. It's in how you hold it. The Buddha reportedly told a man who was carrying the weight of pain, envision yourself being thrown a hot coal, whose hand gets burned if you hold it. Best regards. The coal may originate from another source, but the power to control the fire is entirely in your hands. Imagine this, a paradox. Gripping too firmly will cause more severe pain. It takes strength to let go, an act of self-love that is courageous the way ahead. The act of healing itself is a defiance of hopelessness. Getting well isn't an end goal. It represents defiance, choosing to be present rather than distracted, free rather than clinging, and louder than the world around you is an everyday practice. Let's start with this. First one, enter the present moment with a deep breath. Stay anchored to your breath whenever your thoughts stray. Watch how your heart rate changes. Here is your connection to the here and now. 2. Be wary of the attachments you have. Tell me what you're holding on to. An individual, a recollection, someone you were once but are no longer. Determine if it is empowering you or limiting you. 3 times. Learn to be mindful without passing judgment. Take note of your suffering without assigning any value judgments. Just think of it as a cyclone of energy rushing through you. Exactly 4. Release the narrative. A person's self-perception of pain, while fleeting, might linger indefinitely. Disrupt the storyline. The ultimate reality. You have been healed. Fixing what's wrong isn't healing. Recalling the things that have always been correct is the key. You are not a slew of broken pieces that need fixing. You can turn adversity into insight since you are a strong and resilient human. The time has come to act now. You can't keep expecting other people to pitch in. Being your own strongest link is the first step in starting a revolution. Just one breath, just a second, gradually making decisions. Release mastery. The key to healing is letting go of what's causing your pain. What gives? How can I put an end to my pain, you ask? On the surface, the solution isn't clear. The foundation is there. Think of a tree. It has drooping branches and fading leaves. Will the tree be able to recover if you continue to prune its leaves? The quantity. There is an issue outside of the branches. The foundation is there. The tree will not be able to grow if its roots are poisoned. You are also affected by this. No amount of distraction or superficial solutions can help you heal if your heart is filled with resentment and your mind is stuck in the past, where pain begins. How do you intend to hold on to this? Consider, what loads am I still lugging around? Whose words reverberate within you to this day? Which event from your history do you find yourself thinking about over and over again? What lies do you tell yourself on a daily basis that prolongs the pain? All of your roots are here. Your present is being choked by something poisonous and twisted. Healing will stay elusive until you face them head-on. Now I'll tell you the truth. Remembering isn't a part of healing. It's not about denying the existence of the suffering. Seeing it for what it is and choosing is the key, rather than allowing it to shape your identity. The lesson of the monk, carrying what has already been lost, is suffering. Two monks fording a river is the subject of an old folk tale. They came to a lady who was unable to cross. After one of the monks hoisted her over his shoulders, he lowered her to the opposite side. The second monk finally spoke up after several hours of quiet. No touching that woman was ever acceptable. That is not what we monks do. I laid her down hours ago. The first monk answered with a smile. Why are you keeping her on your person? This is what it means to be in pain. Preserving something even after it has departed from one's body, people, words, regrets, and betrayals that were once a part of your life are still weighing you down. But suppose you set them aside. A false sense of security. Why are people so clingy? Who are you? Not so easy. You could argue. Indeed, I agree with you. The subconscious fights release. Listen closely, it says. Clinging on is safer. You risk losing a piece of who you are if you let go of it. Yet it is not the truth. You won't be protected if you hold on. It shackles you. A history that cannot be changed binds you to it, to hurts that you refuse to heal because you refuse to let them air. The workout on the river, methods for letting go. Put your eyes closed, breathe deeply, stand for a moment. On the banks of a river, the stones you hold in your hands symbolize many aspects of your pain. Betrayal, love lost, unfulfilled expectations, and so on. You can feel the pressure of their weight on you. Put them into the water one by one now. Take note of their demise as the river sweeps them downstream. A sense of buoyancy is settling over you. This is the first step toward liberation as well as healing, leaving behind the bonds of emotion. Come sit down with me. Hold your breath. Tune into the atmosphere, the area where you are currently situated. Think about it. What's really bothering me right now? Oh, is that a human something that happened in the past, an aspiration that was never fulfilled? Keep it in your thoughts for a second. Picture yourself releasing it now, a feeling, isn't it? Personal autonomy, fear, is that void? Attachment can be a sneaky trap. It all starts with a lovely feeling, love, connection, hope. However, its hold becomes increasingly straggling until you become numb to life without it. You hold on tight to them, hoping they'll stick around. When you're in a relationship, you cling to it and want it to endure forever. What you remember, how you feel, and the words you use seem to define you. But when they alter, what follows? Upon their departure, how much it costs to hold on. When flux turns into an adversary, there will always be change. A buddy starts to withdraw, a romantic couple shifts their focus. When someone betrays your trust, it may rip your heart out. Why? Reason being, you based your joy on an external factor over which you had no say. When that person left, you found yourself without the one who had brought you solace. However, I must inquire, is that genuinely tranquility or merely reliance? The bravery to release, recovering your empowerment. Nobody else can bring you true tranquility. The key is to be able to release control. Saying I refuse to let my past hold me back takes bravery. I refuse to accept my pain as who I am. It's the liberation that ensues when you let go of attachment and begin to prioritize your own desires. Ask yourself, what am I still holding on to? Today, after that, set it down delicately. No matter what, you can always count on the river to wash away your troubles. Simply release your grip. Suffering results from attachment. The Buddha explained, love is not inherently harmful to us. The problem is that we can't seem to let love evolve. We long for the past to stay in the past, for moments to be preserved as if they were frozen in time. Even so, things are constantly changing in life. There is no constant. The more we try to deny this reality, the worse it gets for us. Have your hands ever ached from gripping anything so firmly? Anything from a rope to a big bag to an ordinary item. Gripping it too tightly for an extended period of time causes sore fingers, shaky arms, and, finally, a loss of grasp. Similarly, emotional attachment functions. We experience more anguish the more we cling. Still, we're adamant about holding on because we know that without it, we're nothing. Nah, let me tell you the truth. You are full of life. My heart has never been empty in you. In or out of a relationship, you are complete. Our minds fool us into thinking that we are incomplete without other people's affection, approval, or presence in our lives, and yet, observe the trees. Whether or not birds are perched in their branches, they remain towering. Admire the river flow. It continues to pour regardless of who is watching. No one can take your ability to live it up to the next level. Embracing the unknown does not imply losing touch. It doesn't imply ignoring or avoiding other people. In other words, it's about letting go and accepting things the way they are, not the way we want them to be. Meaningful connection does not necessitate control, and love does not imply ownership. Love becomes more exquisite the more we let it flow freely. The sky comes to mind. The clouds pass past it without being held, yet they provide beauty to it in their own right. There are days when the sky is flat. On other days, storms flood the sky. However, no matter what happens, the sky will always be the sky. An unwavering serenity that is not reliant on anything external to yourself constitutes the essence of detachment. Rather than icy or indifferent dispositions, detachment is a scary concept for many individuals because they think it means they have to stop caring, yet that is not the case. There is love even when one is emotionally distant. Love unrestricted is what it means. It entails reveling in happiness without worrying about losing it. It implies welcoming change rather than resisting it. Living life to the fullest without clutching on to anything out of fear is the art of self-care. Okay, then, how does one start to release? First, take note of your thoughts. Take note of the times when you find yourself fixated on the words, deeds, or even the lack of presence of another person. Why is this idea controlling my emotions so much? What is it that I fear losing? Then tell yourself that you already possess all the resources you'll ever need. You are already whole, so there is no need for someone else to fill you up. Time is required for healing from attachment. The old scars will hurt some days. On certain evenings, the recollections will shift, but remember to breathe every time they do. Allow them to come and go as they like. Your past does not define you. Your grief does not define you. Without the ebb and flow of clouds, you are the boundless expanse of the sky. You will discover that letting go does not lead to genuine tranquility as we progress down this path. When you realize you can go without, that's when it happens. As you let go, you'll feel lighter. You will awaken to the realization that you are free at some point. Transformative healing with mindfulness. Come on in. Breathe deeply. As you inhale, let the air fill your lungs. Breathe out slowly now for a second. Release all tension. No history, end of story. That one breath alone here and now. How about you? Being present is that. I call that mindfulness. And it is the first step towards recovery. Much of the suffering we endure has its roots in times past. It is derived from the burdens of the past and the anxieties of the future. A disastrous discussion, something you regret deeply, a future filled with doubt, similar to a monkey hopping from tree to tree, thoughts fly across the mind. Always going, always going. Now imagine you had the power to put a stop to it. Imagine for a second if you could be completely present here. Being mindful is not a new concept. The task at hand is not difficult. Being present is all it takes. Eat without thinking. Just walk when you're walking. Take deep breaths in and out. However, the majority of people do not engage in this behavior. We ruminate about our jobs while we chow down as we ambulate. Our minds wander to past discussions. People don't even realize that they're breathing. Our suffering is a result of that. Discomfort persists because we continue to stoke it. When we refuse to let go of painful memories, we drag them out into the present and make the suffering worse with each revisit. Behold the sky, how long do clouds last? They come and go. That's true. All of your mental processes, feelings, and suffering are same. Allow them to pass, though. Do not resist the urge to suppress unpleasant thoughts. Refrain from removing it. Take a look at it. Take note of it like you would a passing cloud, free of any constraints. Absolutely no pushback. Simply being aware. The thought becomes powerless the second you become aware of it. We might see it again. The more you watch without getting attached, the weaker it becomes. The internal fury starts to subside little by little. It is commonly believed that healing entails repairing something. But mending is not what healing is all about. The key is to make room. Let yourself feel without letting your emotions control you. Embracing the current moment without evading it. As you open out, you'll feel lighter. When you feel worried again, do this. End it. Breathe deeply. Rather than fighting the emotion, just be aware of it. How does it feel to you physically? Does it feel heavy in your chest or belly? Take note, but no judgment on it. Leave it alone, sit back and enjoy it. After that, inhale deeply once again. At a moderate pace, gently experience a gradual release of tension, not because you pushed it out, but because you cut off its food supply. Being mindful entails more than simply clearing one's head. Clarity of vision is key. Have you ever stood outside during a storm and stared at the water? Anxieties is the water's mood. All directions are being battered by the waves. What, however, do you observe once the storm has passed? The water turns calm, tranquil, and transparent. You have a similar mindset. When you calm your mind, you get clarity. Clarity leads to healing. The healing process for some wounds is gradual. Anxieties can be excruciating. However, when left alone, even the darkest wound may mend. Itches go away when you quit irritating them. Regarding your pain, the same holds true. Take a break from thinking about it constantly and see it start to recover. Dwell not on the past, the Buddha admonished. Stay focused on the here and now. Focus on what is happening right now. Mindfulness boils down to this: you can't heal without this. You are immune to the effects of your past if you refuse to let it influence your present. If you don't go for your dreams, nothing can stop you from achieving them. This very second is everything that has ever existed. Now is the time for you to recover. Get comfortable, hold your breath, show up. Nothing else is required of you. You are self-sufficient. Here and now, that one breath alone, it is therapeutic. Parting ways with the need for outside approval. Come sit down with me, grasp the air, please exhale. Present your findings to me now. Please tell me why you need other people to agree with you. For what reasons does the approval of other people matter so much to you? Just put up a photo and see how many people like it. To get consensus, you express your ideas and wait. When you make a decision, you can't help but wonder, what will they think of me? For what feels like an eternity, you've been shackled by this need for approval and this waiting. Give in to your freedom now. View a river. It moves with ease and doesn't pause to consider whether it's taking the correct route to relocate. It makes no request. It isn't waiting for a standing ovation, but it cuts over mountains and ends up in the ocean, all while feeding the land. Like everyone else, you were born to flow, but you've been stuck for a long time, hoping for validation from other sources. You have always been sufficient, my love. Recall the most recent occasion when the words of someone were uplifting. Do you remember how lovely that felt? When someone was critical of you, though, what transpired as your happiness vanished? Are you genuinely happy, or are you just being manipulated? If your happiness levels fluctuate depending on other people's impressions of you, the wind does not tremble a sturdy tree, knowing that the tempest would eventually pass. It remains steadfast. Embrace your natural state like the tree. Master, I can't turn a blind eye to what other people think. You counter, listen up, listen up. Not every thought is worthwhile to hold on to. Envision yourself in a marketplace. Every single vendor is vying for your business, each with their own unique proposition. Do you shop at each of their stores? The quantity. Just pick out the essentials and toss the rest. Fews are not an exception. A few are practical, some are toxic. Recognize what feeds your spirit and let go of the rest. A wanderer and a monk are the heroes of a folk tale. In his rage and anger, the tourist insulted the monk again and time again. However, the monk merely grinned. At last, the tourist inquired, "Why aren't you reacting? Are my remarks not hurtful to you?" To which the monk responded, "Whose gift is it if you refuse to accept it?" After a little pause, the traveler pondered. He responded by saying it to the offer. With a nod, the monk acknowledged the request. "Yes, exactly. What you have said is not acceptable to me. It seems like someone's going to say anything. You will be praised by some. Nobody will be willing to give you a fair crack. Their words, however, belong to them. Until you actually take possession of them, they are not yours. Why do you trust complete strangers with so much authority? They are unaware of your path. They are indifferent to the suffering you are going through. They won't join you on your journey. Then why should you give them the power to control your emotions? A person's distaste for a bird's song will not cause it to cease flying. Just because some people like the dark doesn't mean the sun will stop shining just like everyone else. You have to keep being authentic no matter what. Always act kindly with others. Show the world your strength. Leave it alone if you like silence. Keep your uniqueness and don't try to fit in with a society that is still developing its vision. The fear of rejection drives many people to seek validation. But what really is rejection? To put it simply, it is the viewpoint of another person that differs from your own. Well, That's it. It would be disappointing if someone told you the sky isn't pretty today after you said it was. Are clouds forming? No, it hasn't changed. Then why should you make a change just because someone doesn't value you? Detachment allows for a great deal of freedom. It in no way indicates that you lose interest. It signifies you no longer rely on it. Something is different. Love is the source of caring. Fear is the root cause of depending. If you truly love yourself, you will overcome your fears. Whether others approve or not, you may move forward confidently on your journey because you are whole. Lotus blossoms don't inquire, "Am I lovely?" To the dirty water of a pond, it only grows. No one is going to give you permission to blossom unless you do. This life belongs to you. Choose your own path. Finding tranquility will be expedited by the speed with which you comprehend this. Here, inhale deeply. Put your eyes closed for a second. Experience the relief of levity. See the demand for validation diminishing. Everyone needs you. You have consistently been sufficient. Furthermore, you are untouchable in that regard. No one has the right to take it away from you, turning suffering into power. Accept your suffering. Try not to evade it. Refrain from ignoring it. Stay focused and avoid interruptions. Pause. Inhale and exhale. Is the feeling unpleasant? Is it not? Thoughts push back and not forms in the chest. A part of you longs to run away. Hold just a second. What if you remain? Imagine for a second if you gave in to it. What if you could see the suffering not as an adversary, but as a guide? Any kind of pain is not a sign of weakness. There will be no repercussions. It doesn't mean the world is conspiring against you. When you're in pain, it's only trying to get your attention. Its purpose is to educate you, to jolt you out of your slumber, and to reveal a reality that you have been trying to hide from. Do you intend to pay attention? Observe the trees following a storm. Several branches snap. Some plummet to their doom, never to be heard from again. If the trunk and roots are sturdy, though, they will not give way. Instead, they become more solidly planted, powerful, and profound. Every day is the same. A storm brings pain, but you stand strong like a tree. Is it going to break you or make you stronger? Consider a period when you suffered an emotional wound, when the words or deeds of another person stung, or when something important to you was taken away. When you were in pain, what did you do? Is it inside somewhere? Were you scared by it because of it? Was it to prove that life is unfair to you? Did it teach you anything, though? Has it made you more resilient, enlightened, or empathetic? In contrast to the common perception, the wise view adversity as a gateway to new opportunities. A terrifying new and unknown place awaits you at the other side of this door. What if, however, something much better than what you were expecting is waiting for you on the other side? So what if there is tranquility, independence, and understanding? Only by crossing that threshold can you discover the truth. Staying out of harm's way doesn't make a fighter stronger. Skipping rocks doesn't make a river deep. Skipping challenges is not the path to a knowledgeable mind. In nature, opposition is the driving force behind all growth. You are also affected by this. Everything that goes wrong, everything that hurts, everything that breaks your heart, it's all for your training. You are not being betrayed by life. Its goal is to render you impervious to harm. However, perseverance is only one aspect of strength. You can't focus solely on staying alive. Being truly strong is being able to change either a scar or a lesson and grow from a cut. You might learn insight from your losses, or you can feel remorse. There are two possible outcomes from heartbreak: bitterness and understanding. It is not the agony that decides. Yes, you do. Picture a metal object. It stays what it is, average and uninteresting, if left alone. But when you heat it, press it, and wait for it to cool, it changes into a sword, a tool, or something else entirely. The flames are pain. The choice you make is the hammer. Do you want to grow and change, or do you want to fight change and stay the same? Suffering, according to Buddhist teachings, originates in attachment. How things ought to be is something we cling to. Transitions are difficult for us. When things don't work out the way we planned, it's because we wanted them to. Instead of dreading suffering, what if we learned to embrace it? What if, instead of fighting it, we let it to pass through us? When we try to escape pain, we turn it into suffering. Embracing pain leads to transformation. Why is this occurring to me? Do not inquire. What am I supposed to learn from this? A scar can teach you something. Every tragedy has a message. Lessen the grip that suffering has on you by allowing yourself to be more vulnerable to this fact. A broken heart allows more light to enter, as the old saying goes. Do you know that after experiencing severe suffering, people tend to either become more icy or more empathetic? They could choose to remain closed or open. You can either contract or expand in response to pain. It is up to you to decide. The challenge is the way, as an old adage goes. What this indicates is that you need to face your fears the most. The challenging aspects of life must be endured. There is no way to bypass pain. Going through is your one option. But if you face it head-on, patiently and courageously, you will emerge from it lighter, wiser, and stronger than when you started. Being uncheckable is not what it means to be strong. What it really comes down to is being resilient in the face of adversity, able to feel profound emotions without letting them consume you, and able to bend without breaking. Real power is not remote, icy, or unfeeling. Soft, pliable, and full of life it is. It changes with the seasons and the wind and moves like water. So when suffering strikes, do not flee, be afraid, or fight back. Submit to its molding, refining, and guiding forces. In hindsight, you'll see that it was never meant to demolish you. Its purpose was to rouse you. Forgiveness and self-compassion. Take a seat for a second. Take a moment to feel your heart rate go up and down. How long have you been carrying this pain? For how long have you been hard on yourself when you've messed up? How frequently do you find yourself dwelling on past events, feelings of regret or guilt? People often act in ways they aren't even aware of. Forgiveness of oneself is significantly more difficult than forgiveness of others. Those that wrong us often get pardons from us. We try to convince ourselves that they were bewildered, hurting, and ignorant. We are merciless, though, when it concerns our own transgressions. Together, we take on the role of our